Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Talking Politics.
This week we'll start with how the ruling Bhumjaithai Party of Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul is trying to portray itself as being a party that walks the talk. As we all know that very few political parties in Thailand can claim to have a record of delivering what they promise, because it's all too common that pledges or promises made during the election seasons are often forgotten.
Very quickly.
Once those who make them, are in office.
Yeah.
But Prime Minister Anutin believes that his ruling party is different. It walks the talk, and that is what he has been saying about his party, and even more so in his second term as Prime Minister.
And this week, he has reinforced this claim with his government's decision to unilaterally terminate a long-standing maritime agreement with Cambodia. It's something that Bhumjaithai Party promised during the recent election campaign that it would do if it was to be in power. And the document is officially known as the Memorandum of Understanding between the Royal Thai Government and the Royal Government of Cambodia regarding the area of their overlapping maritime claims to be continental shelf, which is a very long name.
Very long name, so we refer to it as MOU 44.
Yeah.
That's the year it was signed, the Thai year.
Yeah, the Thai year was signed in 2001,
Right.
but yeah, Thai people know it as MOU 44.
Equally important, the document or the treaty, the Thai Foreign Ministry insists that this document is equivalent to being a treaty that needs to be endorsed by the cabinet. If changes are to be made, or it has to be abrogated in any way. What is also important is that the treaty or the document is also meant to work towards joint offshore energy exploration, and that is one area of dispute between the two countries for years.
Yeah.
And political observers note that the speed with which Anutin moved to have the treaty scrapped was especially swift, considering that there are many other more urgent issues that need his government's attention. But he instead has chosen to focus on these very specific issues.
Yeah, Anutin's cabinet approved the abrogation of the treaty during this weekly meeting on Tuesday. And informed sources quoted Anutin as telling the cabinet that the MOU needed to be revoked because it was his election campaign pledge and a policy of his government as well.
Yeah.
So scrapping the MOU was specifically mentioned in Anutin's policy statement, which was delivered to Parliament on April 9.
So practically it took Anutin less than a month to do what he promised to do to the Parliament through his policy statement. And Anutin, of course, later proudly told reporters that he is only living up to his campaign promise. Bhumjaithai Party walks the talk. And that was he said. He also described his government's policy as Thailand first. Very interesting to use this term, Thailand first.
Sounds familiar.
In an apparent effort to pacify concerns that there would be negative consequences from abrogating the MOU.
Yeah, so he ticked that off the list for now. So back in 2022, when Anutin was Public Health Minister, his party managed to fulfill one of its most ambitious campaign promises, and that was the decriminalization and legalization of cannabis by removing it from the narcotics list. So the move helped reinforce the party's walk the talk slogan. And, but how the policy ended up is something that we'll have to come back to later on, because this is...
Yeah, and then there is this much publicized land bridge project, which has been making headlines over the past several weeks. The project was not included in Anutin government's policy statement, but interestingly, it was featured during Bhumjaithai Party's election campaigns. Deputy Prime Minister and Communication Minister Pipat Rachakit Pagan, a leading advocate of the project, said it was a campaign promise that Bhumjaithai Party is determined to keep. And according to him, this only demonstrates that Bhumjaithai Party walks the talk again This has become kind of a slogan of the party now.
Yeah. So now back on MOU 44, what drove Anutin to want to do away with the treaty? A lot of people might wonder.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister said that Thailand and Cambodia have been negotiating under the framework of MOU 44 for the past 25 years, but have made no headway whatsoever.
But what Anutin did not say is that providing Thailand with the impetus to abrogate the treaty was Cambodia's recent ratification of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, known as UNCLOS. Cambodia signed the document in July 1983, but did not ratify it until January this year. Thailand, meanwhile, ratified the treaty much earlier in 2011. Known as the Constitution of the Oceans, UNCLOS is the comprehensive international treaty establishing the legal framework for all ocean space activities and resources in disputed areas of between countries.
So several rounds of bilateral talks have been conducted in the framework of MOU 44, but no progress has been made amid rising border tensions between the two countries that escalated into bloody body skirmishes last year. Now, Anutin said with MOU 44 revoked, Thailand and Cambodia will be negotiating under the same sets of rules within the framework of the so-called UNCLOS and other relevant international laws. But he does not make it clear whether the new approach would end up in Thailand's favor.
And as expected, the reaction from the Cambodian side was swift. Within hours after the news about the abrogation of the treaty by Thailand broke, Prime Minister Hun Sen of Cambodia said it was regrettable that Thailand decided to unilaterally withdraw from the treaty. He said Thailand left Cambodia with no choice but to turn to UNCLOS, particularly the mechanism known as compulsory conciliation to resolve the overlapping claims.
Yeah, so in short, the Cambodian leader was effectively saying, see you in court.
That's right.
So compulsory conciliation under UNCLOS is a mandatory non-binding dispute resolution process, which is designed to help state parties resolve maritime disputes when negotiation fail. Now, the process can be triggered unilaterally, forcing parties into mediation overseen by an independent commission to reach an amicable settlement.
But at the end of the day, not everyone in Thailand, even in the government, agrees with Anutin's decision to unilaterally withdraw from the treaty. Many security experts see MOU 44 as the only viable bilateral mechanism through which Thailand and Cambodia can resolve their overlapping maritime claims. But now with the treaty gone, at least from the Thai perspective,
they also believe that the move by Anutin to scrap it is an extension of the nationalism card that he played during the election campaign, which took place in early February in the face of continuing tensions between Thailand and Cambodia.
Now we have to say that Anutin's nationalistic approach struck the right chord with large segments of the Thai society and is believed to have contributed to his Bhumjaithai Party's surprising performance in the general election.
That's why he said Thailand first.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, however, it is still too early to say whether the scrapping of MOU 44 will ultimately serve Thailand's interests, as Prime Minister Anutin claims. I mean, critics believe it is more likely to make the whole thing more complicated. And by the way, we should revisit the legalization of cannabis, which was Bhumjaithai Party's most celebrated policy in the previous elections in 2019. And it gave rise to its walk the talk claim as well.
Yeah. The policy started off with a big bang, we can say that, right? Because of the attention it received both locally and internationally. Anutin and his Bhumjaithai Party initially promoted the policy as an economic opportunity and a way to boost medical cannabis industries and tourism. But unfortunately, it ended up backfiring, largely because regulations were introduced too slowly and enforcement was weak. And that resulted in cannabis shops springing up across the country with very little control.
Yeah, went wild.
Yeah, it went up in areas near schools and tourist areas, while recreation use became widespread, contrasting official claims that the policy was intended mainly for medical purposes.
Yeah.
And public concerns also grew over the fact that young people can have easy access to the cannabis, right? And then there were concerns about the cannabis-related health issues, and of course Thailand's international image.
And Anutin's image himself as well. It's certainly good when politicians follow through on their promises, but I mean, they also need to ensure that their policies are carefully thought out rather than being rushed or driven mainly by popularity or electoral gain. I mean, the legalization of cannabis certainly stands out as a reminder of how political expediency can take priority over sound judgment.
And the land bridge project is also widely seen as politically driven, while the scrapping of MOU 44 is being criticized as a decision aimed more at accommodating nationalist fervor. And of course, we want to see politicians walk the talk. But the reminder is that, judging from what happened in the past, don't be too overjoyed if they do.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the unusual drama about Thai politics and durian. I mean, whatever your opinion of the fruit may be, it is considered one of Thailand's prized exports. It's valued at $4.4 billion or 157.5 billion baht. That's about 70% of the fruit's export revenue Thailand generated in 2023. I mean, a lot of money. And that number is expected to be lower this year for a number of reasons, including the 33% increase in the supply of durian.
And for a while, it looked like everyone in the government felt obliged to play a role in promoting the sales of durians, right? Including Commerce Minister Suphajee Suthamphan, who stepped in and start an uproar with the way she tried to promote the sales of durian, right?
Yeah.
It certainly it was done in a rather unconventional way.
Yeah.
During the live stream with a famous online seller, Suphajee seemingly endorsed the sale of 1 million durians at a very low price of 100 baht per fruit.
Yeah, for context, usually the price is anywhere from 140 to 180 baht per kilogram.
Yeah.
And a full-size export quality durian can weigh up to 6 kilograms. So you can imagine the scale of controversy caused by the 100 baht per durian scheme. Now, this week, she addressed the issue by saying that this is normal for someone in politics to be surrounded by thorns. Of course, durian is a thorny fruit. And it has become one of those thorns she mentioned on stage. Then she raised this question, what did I do wrong? Basically, that's what she said. And she explained that her intention was to stimulate demand for Thai durian before the market becomes oversupplied.
No, it's one of those rare moments that Suphajee, who has been very popular, right, received rather negative coverage by the media.
Yeah, I mean, durian economics aside, the fact that the Commerce Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Suphajee is under fire for such an issue, I think it reflects an important point about Thai politics. I mean, she, like you said, was among the technocrats appointed by Prime Minister Anutin to oversee key portfolios in the government. And she stands out as a star performer with tangible results to her name.
All right. The spotlight was on her much earlier, during the period leading up to the elections in February this year, right? Remember that Suphajee was able to close a deal on Thailand and China's government-to-government sales of 40,000 tons of rice. Of course, when you stand out from the crowd as Suphajee does, I mean, you tend to be also a target at the same time. Right?
Yeah. Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul defended Suphajee during an event they attended together this week. I mean, he was asked by reporters if he wanted to say a few things to help boost morale for Suphajee. And Anutin said, "You mean Pitam?" Pitam is Suphajee's nickname.
That's right.
She gets hit hard, though anyone who goes up against her usually ends up getting hit even harder. That's what Anutin said. And he goes on, she may seem quiet, but when she fires back, people end up completely crushed.
That only shows how protective Kun Anutin is, about the bad news surrounding the Suphajee, right?
Yeah.
And probably Anutin was right to some extent, because the Commerce Minister Kun Suphajee does have her own distinctive way of responding to critiques, right? One example was when people commented on her unusual appearance.
Oh,
You remember
the
that when
hair.
she, all of a sudden, she came up with a rather distinctive hairstyle. She replied that she had been so busy with work that she did not have time to do her hair. So she resorted to wearing a wig.
I mean, that's a good one, isn't it? Like, I work hard for the people, so don't criticize my hair. Yeah, I think a lot of people like that one. Now, let's talk about the Bangkok gubernatorial election, which is coming up on June 28th, next month. And is the election day for Bangkok governor and the 50 city councillors as well.
So politically speaking, this is certainly going to be another important battleground for major political parties, except the ruling Bhumjaithai Party, which is most unlikely to field any candidates. You may be wondering why. And of course, the answer largely lies in what happens in the last general election just a few months ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the map, out of 33 constituencies in Bangkok, the Bhumjaithai Party failed to win a single seat. I mean, clearly its support base lies elsewhere. And I mean, it would not reflect well on the party leading the government coalition if it were to lose such a significant local election.
Yeah. What about the People's Party, the party that's swept the seats in Bangkok in the last elections? The party, of course, has every reason to field a candidate of its own to run for the Bangkok governor's position. Its nominee, who was unveiled just this week, Chaiwat Sathawon Vichit, better known as Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe is a deputy leader of the party, and he was previously with the Bank of Thailand before he left the job in 2023 to join the now defunct Move Forward Party, bringing with him expertise in data management and the digital economy. So this is going to be one interesting candidate to watch.
Yeah, he's seen as a very tech-savvy guy. But now let's talk about the Democrat Party, the old school Democrat Party. They have just unveiled their list of candidates for Bangkok city councillors as well. But it is said that the name of the Bangkok governor candidate will be revealed mid-May. And I guess we have to talk about the Democrat Party because, you know, ever since the first Bangkok gubernatorial election in 1975, Bangkok has seen 11 governors. Out of these 11, 3 were from the Democrat Party, right? I mean, the first governor was Thammanun Tiengn from the Democrat.
That's a long time ago.
Long time ago, 1975. And then we had Apirak Kosayotin, Sukumphan Boripat back to back. So this is their home base.
Yeah. And so this time around, they certainly will need to make real effort to win back support from the voters in Bangkok. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And because this is also important, that will pave the way for the party to make a real comeback at the national level in the next general elections.
They have always been famous in Bangkok. We're not sure why.
But except for the last few elections, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then the man to watch is none other than Chacha Sittipan, the incumbent governor.
Yes.
A recent opinion poll by the National Institute of Development Administration, or NIDA, suggests that Chacha is still very popular among Bangkok residents. And according to a previous poll, Chacha has been given a rather high marks for his performance across 17 areas. And he was given passing marks in 15 categories, falling short only on corruption and bread and butter economic issues.
I think according to the director of NIDA Poll Center,
Yeah.
he said that a successful candidate must be able to connect with residents and maintain a visible public presence. And that's something Chachat has been doing all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he's quite consistent with this. Really good.
He's a runner. He's a runner. You know, on any given morning, you can see Chachat jogging through the different parts of Bangkok.
Yeah.
He goes to Lumpini Park, different areas. So he's visible, like, publicly. And he is approachable as well. When people go up and take pictures with him, he's very happy to do that. And, you know, he's got natural charisma. So it continues to make him a formidable candidate.
But Chachat was very humble when he was asked by reporters this week to grade himself, to grade his own performance. Initially, he was reluctant to say anything, but eventually he said, I give myself 5 out of 10.
Oh,
But I'll give my team, his deputy governors or the bureaucrats, I give them 8 out of 10.
there we go.
So they are giving, what he meant was that he's giving all the credit, if there is any, to
To the
his
team. The credits as well as the faults, if any. Anyway, that's it for this week of Talking Politics. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
See you then.